Hello guys, welcome to this video. This is just a general video. I'd like to say some important realizations. I already released a video about some of my important realizations of 2022, but I just want to have a discussion because that was just a video. I just wrote some text, typed some text, and made a video out of it. But here I want to have a discussion with you. Like you can comment. Of course, it's not a live stream, but I just want to talk about some things. And if you have time, if you would like to watch, because this video is very important. Like it will be. I think it will change the way you think about yourself. It will change the way you look at life. If you have the time, I would request you to watch the video till the end. Like if you have the time and so yeah, that's the last favor I'm asking for you from in this year, because in the coming year I'll ask for a lot more favors. And thanks for your support, guys, as always. So let's begin. So basically, you see, I was watching a video by Veritasium. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels, Veritasium, and the video was called "Our Greatest Delusion." It's an old video. He released it about 7 years ago, but I watch that video almost daily. Like one time I watched that video because 7 minutes is not very long, and that video it really inspires me to be a nihilist, or whatever that's called. I don't know, my pronunciation may not be correct, but so the thing is that at one point of time I used to be a nihilist. I used to believe in nihilism, and in the middle, for some days, for some months, I thought that maybe this is nonsense, maybe I shouldn't believe in nihilism. And when I told my friends about my beliefs, they thought that I was a depressed kid, a depressed guy. Because, but the thing is that nihilism is an impersonal way of looking at things. It's an impersonal way of looking at things. It's a philosophy. It's not something which makes you depressed. It's not a depressing or a negative philosophy by itself. So that's one important thing. So first of all, I'd like to ask you one thing. Well, like I would like to request you to do one thing. Try to imagine nothingness. Try to imagine nothingness. Can you do it? I know you can't. So this is in the video "Our Greatest Delusion" of Veritasium. This is what Derek Muller, the Veritasium guy. This is what he said, that we can't imagine, or we can't comprehend nothingness. Nothingness doesn't mean empty space or vacuum. It means nothing. Like there is absolutely no space, no time, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Or if there is something more fundamental than space and time, then even that is not there. Like just nothing. So of course, if you try to imagine such kind of things, some thoughts will come to your mind and nothingness will be destroyed. So you can't imagine nothingness. And we can't imagine nothingness because we are here due to evolution, and we are here so that we can create more copies of ourselves. So if we can simulate our non-existence, that means we will momentarily not exist. So that is not our goal, that is not our target, right? So that is why we are hardwired to not be able to simulate nothingness, right? So this is something we can't comprehend, we can't imagine, we can't simulate. So the point of the video "Our Greatest Delusion" is that what is our greatest delusion? That in our heart of hearts, we all know that our time is limited, our time is finite, we are all going to die one day. But we don't act like that. We act like we procrastinate a lot, and we act like we have got a lot of time in our hands, like we can live the life as we wish, right? So we still have a lot of time, many years left. So this kind of thing, this is our greatest delusion. And you know what nihilism says? Nihilism says that ultimately nothing really matters in the end. See, as I'm growing up, I have come to realize quite a few things. You know what? First of all, there is no justice in this world, and I have realized this because I will not share any personal instances on a public platform like YouTube, obviously, but there is no justice in this world, and this world runs on only one thing, that is money. Like who has the money, they have all the power. Like money is controlling the world, money and corruption and everything. Like I won't take any instances or names or something, but there is no justice in this world. And if you don't have money, you will be humiliated, you will be disrespected. That's the harsh truth. Because I have faced that. I'm not a rich person. I have faced that. My family has faced that. So that's why I'm telling. This is a true thing. This is a absolutely, however bitter the truth might be, this is a true thing. And then yeah, of course, like on the I know there are a lot of people who are in a much worse condition than I am. So I am completely better off, and I have not had any faced any major uh, tragedy in life except my mother's heart disease and my grandfather's passing away. But my grandfather's passing away is quite natural because he was 87 years old. So I no more think about that. I have got over I have coped with that. So that's one thing. But when I compare my life with my father's life, for instance, he lost his mother when he was only 31 years old, and he didn't get justice in life. He didn't get justice in life. So he lived his life like an honest man. He inspired me. That's my inspiration. He didn't break down. He lived his life like an honest man. So, but that's what I've realized. And one more thing is that I think believing in nihilism is actually gives you some inner strength, because ultimately nothing really matters in the end. Whatever you are like, no matter how this gives you some sort of consolation, but actually this is a just that, a consolation. It's nothing serious, because see, ultimately those who have the money, those who have the power, ultimately they will live a happy life and you will live a sad life. This is the truth. But if you have the consolation, if you have that knowledge that even money is not permanent, even though they are not permanent, everyone is gonna die one day, this will this will comfort you in just this will just comfort you. And what is nihilism? Because this whenever I tell my friends about nihilism, they say that I'm a depressed guy, like I already told you. So but see, nihilism, as I always say, nihilism is an impersonal way of looking at the world, because nihilism doesn't attach any special value to someone. Like in religion, this god is more powerful than that god, this god is the creator, he has more power, so it attaches some special value, this like some special meaning, special values, some divine purpose and everything. But nihilism says that everything is meaningless, no matter what, everything, each and everything is meaningless. So it's an impersonal way of looking at the world. It's not actually depressive. It should actually provide you inner strength if you believe in nihilism. And believing in nihilism is actually a very good thing, I think. It's not at all depressing or something like that. See, one thing is that I have said time and again, and it was one of my. It was also listed in one of my greatest realizations in 2022, that ordered complexity is a fortunate product of random processes. So why do I keep saying these things? Because see, this it's a very quite simple statement, but actually it explains quite a lot. So ordered complexity, like if you see a watch lying on the road, you will naturally assume that there was a watchmaker, because you will not assume that that so many atoms and molecules themselves by themselves assembled into a complex watch just by themselves, because that it can happen. Actually, theoretically speaking, it can happen, but the probability is very very less. Similarly, when you see the complex body, we assume that there must be some creator. Like this kind of logic works. But the thing is that Charles Darwin's evolution and in general recent insights into in science, in physics and everything, we have seen that entirely random processes without any purpose, like evolution, for instance. Evolution does not have any purpose. Some people will say that evolution has a purpose. Its purpose is to keep improving the species and make sure that some species survive. But actually, evolution is a spontaneous process. There is no purpose to evolution. Evolution doesn't operate with some purpose in mind. It's just a spontaneous process. It just happens. In fact, everything is spontaneous. Everything happens randomly and spontaneously. And from this random and spontaneous processes arises or emerges ordered complexity. Fortunately, it just emerges. It just happens. It's not because some god wants it to happen, or it's not because nothing like that. So that's why I say ordered complexity is a fortunate product of random processes, right? That's what I mean. So everything happens spontaneously. This is the key. And there is no meaning, no inherent meaning, no meaning or no divine purpose or nothing like that. There is no point to anything. And see, this doesn't, at one point of time it used to depress me. Like, what is the meaning of life? I will have to die one day. Everything, I will just grow up and do some job and then I will die. So what's the point of it all? Everything is pointless. These kind of things, these kind of thoughts engulfed me at one point of time. But then I realized that why should we expect life to have a meaning? Yeah, there is no inherent meaning in life, there is no point to anything, but this doesn't depress me anymore, and this shouldn't depress me also. So this is what I'm trying to say about nihilism. So we have to find or perhaps create meaning for ourselves. In fact, that's what I say. Life is our quest to find meaning in an inherently meaningless world. The world is inherently meaningless. See, on the cosmic scale, if you see, like on the scale of the universe, what happened to me, what happens to my family, what happens to your family, these things doesn't matter. Who lives, who dies, who fails an exam, these things doesn't matter. Like we are insignificant in comparison with the universe. The universe is huge, and we are just nothing as compared to the universe. So but still we have to, life is our quest to find meaning. We have to find some meaning, we have to find something worth living for. So that's what I'm trying to say. Life is our quest to find meaning in an inherently meaningless world. Now this quest is futile, but even knowing that this quest is futile, we have to take part in this quest and extract as much happiness from this quest as possible. Futile because of course, even if there is some meaning in life, after we die the meaning will end. Some people will say that, well, people remember Einstein today because Einstein, he died, but his work is revolutionary. Even today people are researching about his work, even today people remember him as a great scientist. But the thing is that once you die, that's the end of you. I believe this firmly. There is whatever your religion and whatever your like immortality, Upanishads and all these things, but I firmly believe that once you die, that's the end of you. And maybe you have done some great work, maybe people will remember you, but you will not be there to perceive it, you will not be there to feel it. For you, it's the end. Death is the end. So, and even if there was a meaning to you of your life, that meaning will also come to an end because you simply stop to exist. You simply stop to exist. Right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Death is the end of us. And even if you say Einstein, for instance, so this earth will end one day, this universe will end one day. So Einstein will just get lost in that at that point of time, because everything must end one day. Maybe after billions of years, but still everything will end one day, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. So see, now here's what I'm trying to say. This quest is futile, but that doesn't mean I don't ask you to commit suicide because of this fact, that due to the fact that life is meaningless. This is simply the way it is, and you have to accept it. That's the point. So it's a mistake to expect life to have any meaning in the first place. So this was the first point which I wanted to discuss with you today. And see, so this year I did a bit of research on parapsychology. Like actually this year I did two important things. One is that I launched the updated edition of my book Our Physics So Far, and so while doing the research for the book, because then only I came about parapsychology and psychedelics and all these things. So I'm coming to that. The second important thing is that I started studying BSc Physics honors at St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. So this is my first transition from school education to higher education, and so that's one thing. But the thing is that, and see, some of you have been asking, like in 2021 I released quite a lot of songs, 10 to 12 songs. See, that time music was my everything. I tried to use music as my escape from this world. So that's why I was very busy with music production and music composition and songwriting. So that's why I released a lot of songs. But now that I'm back to normal, of course I can't devote so much time to music. So that's why I've released only one song this year in 2022, and that too in the month of February, like at the very beginning of 2022. After that I didn't release a single song. I released some lyric videos of my previous songs on my channel, Urban Amplified channel, but I didn't release any new songs. But don't worry, I have some projects coming up for 2023, but don't expect anything too frequent, because now I'm back to normal and I can't devote that much time to music, because that's not my ultimate aim in life. I love music, of course. I couldn't have survived without music. Without music, my parents and Harry Potter and some this fiction and all these things. Without these things I couldn't have survived. See, we need these distractions, because in today's world, today's world is filled with misery. So you need these distractions, these temporary distractions to survive. So that's one thing. Okay, so coming to my point, one more realization this year. So see, the first article I wrote, and it was a very pseudo-scientific article, because now I think about it, it was a very pseudo-scientific article, and I wrote that when I was in class 9, like it's almost 5 years ago, 4 to 5 years ago. Because see, at that time I was thinking about consciousness, and at that time I didn't have any physics knowledge. Like I didn't have any knowledge in physics. Maybe I have read one or two popular science books and I have started loving the subject, but I didn't have any rigorous knowledge. And I thought that something called the greater mind theory. Like I have never publicly spoken about this because this is just pseudoscience, and I have never published it anywhere because it's totally mistaken. I myself realized that it's totally mistaken. Just the wild imagination of a 9-year-old boy, not 9-year-old boy, of a class 9 student. So like I would be like, for instance, I would be about 14 years old at that time, 14 to 15 years old. So the thing is that at that point of time I used to think that parapsychological phenomena like this telepathy, precognition, telekinesis, and this mind reading, not exactly mind reading, but like mainly I used to focus on precognition mainly. Like some people can predict the future, some people can predict the future, that kind of thing, precognition. So I used to believe that these things can perhaps be explained by science one day, and I read some books like ESP, Extrasensory Perception, like Entangled Minds by Dean Radin, and so I thought about these kind of things. And maybe then I started reading about these near-death experiences. There was the Galileo Commission report. Near-death experiences means in some people, like some people have experienced something like their brain has completely died down, but after that they have come alive. Like in complete absence of brain activity, they have some recollection of consciousness, of some conscious moments. Like I can recollect what happened at that point of time, although the machine, the electroencephalogram is showing that there was absolutely no brain activity during that time. So all this led me to believe that maybe consciousness is something bigger than the brain. Maybe consciousness is something more fundamental. Like it's something spiritual and all these things, like fundamental consciousness. But I have done a lot of research, and I have come to a conclusion like this. I am not saying that I am right. Of course, I may be wrong, but as of now, I think this is the best way forward. So as of now, I believe that there is no. This is the crux of my argument. There is no feeling that can't be generated, at least in theory. Like in practice, it's not possible now, but at least in theory, there is no feeling that cannot be generated by manipulating the different levels of brain chemicals, by manipulating the different levels of chemicals in the brain. Whatever feeling, whatever strange experiences you are having, like some people, I don't know whether whether these are reliable accounts or not, but assuming they're true, whatever strange experiences you're having, out of body experiences, near death experiences, parapsychological experiences, extrasensory perception, all of this I think can be explained by some manipulations in the brain chemical. So it all depends on the brain. That is what I'm trying to say. See, my fascination with neuroscience is a long story, but see, long story short, I think extrasensory perception and all such phenomena can be explained by further research on neuroscience. It's all happening inside the brain. Consciousness just emerges from the brain. It's an emergent phenomenon, and that's it. So if you want to know the details of my argument, you have to read the updated edition of my book. And as I've already said in some previous videos, you can, if you want a free PDF, you can contact me. Or you can comment, you can email me on arpand2004@gmail.com, or contact me through my website, or you can, if you have my phone number, then you can contact me through WhatsApp or whatever. So if you want a free PDF, I will provide you with one, because yeah, I've told you already this one. So next is the last thing. As the year ends, as we say goodbye to yet another year, 2022, and as we welcome 2023, like we don't know what 2023 has in store for us. We don't know whether it will turn out to be a better year or a worse year. Like there are a lot of things coming up, so I don't know what will happen. But yeah, let's keep our hopes high. So the thing is that this is also something which I've realized lately in this year only. So that's why I would like to share this with you. So what's my philosophy for a happy life? This reminds me of a TED talk. I don't remember the name. It was Tim Burns or Sam Burns something. He was the boy. He was a 17-year-old boy. He died shortly after giving the TED talk. Like he had a disease. He had a disability. So the title of the TED talk was My Philosophy for a Happy Life. So you can listen to the talk. It's a very, very, very good talk. So see, first of all, you are better off than most. Admit it. Like you have to admit it. Like at one point of time, I used to think that my life is unfair. Why all these things are happening with me? But See, after I gave some time to my life, things have worked out. Things have reasonably worked out. So yeah, I won't say I'm the happiest, but yeah, I'm happier than many people. There are a lot of people who are in worse condition than me. So this fact is at the same time sad and happy. Like happy in the sense like, okay, so at least I'm not the worst. There are someone worse than me. But this is again, if you were a true human, this you should feel sad. This should make you sad. Like you shouldn't, like it's not a good thing that there are people who are worse than you. So the ultimate philosophy for a happy life, see, happiness can depends on a number of things. For some, happiness is money. For some, happiness is going out with friends. For some, happiness is this. For some, happiness is that. But the thing is that all these things are temporary. Like all these things, the charm wears off. Like you will find this very enjoyable for the first few couple of days and maybe first few years even. But after that, the charm will wear off. To find true happiness in life, to find permanent happiness in life, the only way is to comprehend, is to confront the meaninglessness of it all. Everything is meaningless. There is no purpose, no ultimate purpose, no ultimate meaning, and you have to accept that. You have to admit that. You have to be ready for what awaits you after death. After death, what awaits you? Nothing. It all ends with death. You have to accept that. You have to accept this fact that it all ends with death. So once you accept this fact, and once you accept that nothing really matters in the end, whatever you're happening, your failures, your humiliations, your failures, everything, they're just nothing. They will just get washed away compared to the vastness of the universe. Once you get this into your head, I don't think happiness will be a problem. I think you'll always be happy. So see, yeah, okay, so one more thing which I've realized is that, so why I'm telling you, because at some point of time, see, we are emotional. This is one thing. In my latest blog on my website, if you have checked it out, I don't know whether you have checked it out or not, but in my latest website blog, here is what 2022 taught me. In that blog also I have written this. See, I have realized that maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not true for all of us, but at least it's true for me, and I think it's true for most of us, even if not all of us, but most of us. See, nobody actually cares about you except your parents. Even there are some exceptions, like not all, there are some, even all parents are not, but in general I'm talking, nobody cares about you except your parents and maybe a few others, very few. That's a very small number, very small number. So first of all, to live a happy life, you have to stop caring for people. Care for your parents, obviously. Parents are everything. But other than that, you have to stop caring for people, and you have to love yourself. You have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on the inside. You have to love yourself. Don't put too much, don't share too much with other people. Stop caring for other people. Focus on yourself. This is one thing for a happy life. Now when I tell this to my father, he says that I am unsocial, I don't have friends, I don't, this is not true, this is not right. So maybe he's correct, I admit that. But still, I have tried making friends. I've tried tried being an extrovert, but it didn't work out for me. For me, being an introvert, focusing on myself and my parents, that's the best thing. I've tried to make friends, I've tried to trust people, but it didn't work out for me. I really can't trust anybody except my parents because of one thing and another. It didn't work out for me. So yeah, that's one thing. And see, one more thing is that, see, science is cold and impersonal. This is what I'm trying to say time and again. There is no meaning, nihilism, science, pure science and everything. It's cold and impersonal. Science is the same for everybody. Science doesn't attach any special meaning to this or any special meaning to that. It just explains the world. Just spontaneously, it just happens spontaneously. It's the way it is. But we are emotional. No point denying that. See, we are the end product of science, scientific evolution. But due to one thing and that, due to some historical accidents, due to some fortunate or maybe I should say unfortunate accidents, we turned out, evolution built us in such a way that we are emotional. We can't control our emotions. Most humans actually values their emotions. So Sherlock Holmes once said, whatever is emotional is opposed to that true cold reason which I place above all things. Sherlock Holmes could become Sherlock Holmes because he could master these emotions. Just a story, this is not a real person, but this is a philosophy, this is what I'm trying to say. See, so I keep coming back to the same point. Science is impersonal, there is no place for emotions in science. science doesn't attach any special meaning to anything, science just explains the world. This is somewhat similar to saying that there is no inherent meaning in life, isn't it? See, it's foolish to deny the fact that we can't, like we human beings, we can't be impersonal in reality. We no matter how hard we try, we are emotional beings. In fact, this is something which is a bit controversial, but let me share it with you. In fact, you'll be surprised to know that I sometimes find myself hoping that I were a robot or a supercomputer instead of a human. Because I find emotions very distracting and very useless, very time wasting and very time consuming. Because I find emotions very hard to manage, and I don't value emotions. I think emotions are useless, emotions are an unnecessary distraction. So sometimes I wish that what if I were a robot or a supercomputer, but which could do science by itself, because my aim in life is to do science, is to find the answers to the ultimate question. Just an aim, of course. Maybe it's not possible, because maybe it's never possible for any of us, and maybe it's more than not possible for me. But so yeah, so sometimes I find myself hoping that I were a supercomputer instead of a human, a supercomputer that can do science by itself, or a robot. Sometimes I strive for a mechanical mind, but it may be the case that I have my life emotions didn't work out in my life. It may be the case that also. But in general, emotions gives us values, emotions strengthens us. It can also be the case, because some people will disagree with me. Some people will say that emotions are everything. They value emotions. They're alive because of emotions. So if you belong to that group, I don't hurt your feeling. I will not hurt your feeling. You can, but yeah, for me, my philosophy is that. And of course, while doing science or while doing anything like this, it's best to be as impersonal as possible. So my advice is that don't value emotions, control your emotions, and practice ignoring your emotions if you want to live a happy life. That is my philosophy for a happy life. Don't value emotions, control your emotions, and practice ignoring your emotions. So, and in that video, that Veritasium video, I'll drop the link in the description. Okay, because it's a 7 minutes video. Like this video is already 27 minutes long. That video is just 7 minutes. And that video is like one of the best YouTube videos I've ever watched, including all the videos I've watched. It's just watch the video once. I'm just telling you, especially in this, at the end of the day, if you watch the video, it will give you a new determination to live out your life in the best possible way from the year 2023. So just watch that video. That's a very good video. So see, in that video, what Derek says, he says that. What is our greatest delusion? That we are here forever. Like we know in our heart of hearts, we know that we are not here forever, right? So we will die one day, but we don't act like that. We have an apparent belief that we have a lot of time left. We can live out life as we want. We can procrastinate. We have a lot of time left. We have this kind of thing, but this actually lulls you into a false sense of security, because anything can happen. Like you can die the next moment. Anything can happen. So this lulls you into a false sense of security. So see, don't procrastinate and start living your life like it's the last day, and accept the impermanence. See, in some previous videos also, I remember saying that I've told you that start living your life like today is your last day. Like if today is literally your last day, if it's really the case, then you will be depressed like hell, and like, you know what I mean. But you have to accept the impermanence. Maybe today is not your last day, but you have to accept that your days are numbered. Time is finite. So once you accept that fact, and once you realize that nothing really matters in the end, everything is meaningless, and once you do that, then I think you will live a happy life. I know this is a lot I'm asking for, because I myself I have realized that I am a nihilist. I have realized about nihilism, but still I find it difficult to control my depression, control my emotions, and control my control my worries and insecurities. So it's a very difficult, because we are not superhumans. We are just human beings. We all are human beings. But still, we should try our best to do this, because if we do this, only then can we achieve true happiness in life. And this delusion is comforting, that we have an infinite amount of time left, like we have a lot of time left. So this is a comforting delusion, but this is actually a false delusion, and we want the truth. Like if we were content with false, with lies, if we were content with lies, then what was the point of science? Why are you doing science? Because we want to know the truth. We want to uncover the truth about the universe. If we just wanted to be happy, then let's just make some story up like God and everything, and let's be happy. there is no point of uncovering the truth. But we are not, we don't only want to be happy, we want to know the truth. And the truth is that you don't have infinite time. Your time is limited. Your days are numbered. Every moment you are inching towards death. So get out of this delusion. Start living your life like today is your last. Living your life as you, with no regrets. Live your life with no regrets. Live your life as you want it to. Because, like, see, there is a song by Avicii, The Nights. My father told me, one day we'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. That's the best I can say to you. Like, that song says it out. I don't want to make this video any longer. It's already 30 minutes long. So I know none of you will watch it till the end, but still, if one or two of you watch, and I understand, because 30 minutes is a huge time, so it's not possible for all of you to watch till the end. But if you have watched till here, I would like to personally thank you. So that's all, guys, in this video, and I would like to know your comments, and a happy new year in advance. Let's all hope that 2023 turns out to be much better than 2022. And 2022 was much better than 2021 for me, at least, but it may not be true for all of us. So let's hope for the best, but be ready, be prepared for the worst. So that's all, guys. Thank you, guys.